Welcome back to the channel. We're going to see if we can get this generator running. First thing you want to notice is this is fully drained of fuel. The tank is completely empty, which is a good thing. Sometimes people leave stale fuel in there, it clogs up the carburetor. And this thing was listed on the side of the road, said free, runs, does not create power. So we're going to put some fuel in here, see if we can get at least the engine running first. We'll start checking for why it may or may not be creating power. Maybe 2/3 to 1/4 of a gallon in this thing. Every 5-gallon jug I bring home from the gas station, I put marine grade stabilizer in here so we can avoid in the future rebuild carbs with bad gas. So try manual start. No battery for it, so turn the key to on. Choke closed. Let's see, where's the fuel line? Is the fuel on in this thing or not? Huh. Don't see a fuel petcock for this, so let's fire it up. I already checked the oil. The oil's okay, so I checked it already. Fuel petcock. I missed it. It's over here. Turn that on. That would help. Find the fuel petcock, turn it on. I missed it. Now, fuel's flowing down to the carburetor, hopefully. Now we'll see how many pulls it takes to fire this thing up. One with fuel. Tried resetting these, nothing. Okay, so I watched some YouTube videos last night about how to re-energize a generator. So, what we're going to do is we're going to fire it back up, and we're going to take this 1/2-inch drill, put it in the forward position. When it's running, we're going to turn it backwards a few times like that, and see if we can get this thing fired up. This truck just... There we go. We're going to try that right now. I saw suggestions about wearing a glove. So when you turn this thing backwards, it may re-energize, put some power back into it, which may adjust, re-energize the magnets, but then immediately you'll want to turn right again. So gloves are because when that thing takes off the opposite direction, it doesn't rip your hand off. So, turn that key to on. Unfortunately, the easy fix was not what was going to happen this time. I was hoping to have this a really short video because it worked right away. That stinks. So there's another way to re-energize with a 12-volt battery. I worry that because these are GFCI outlets, they're not functioning properly. It's not allowing the juice to flow from this drill to the power head. So I think something we're gonna have to pull off the side cover over here and try plan 2. Unfortunately, I was really hoping this was gonna be a quick video. Okay, I may have been recording by accident there. The drill trick didn't work. So we're gonna check resistance, resistance across the 110. Getting nothing. I just wonder if because these are GFIs, they're not activating, therefore I can't energize that way. So when I try this 110 outlet here, let's try this one. Okay, I get 0.6. And 0.7. It almost seems like it's sort of working. I just don't think with these GFI outlets I can try and re-energize the magnet. So I may pull this cover off, put a standard outlet, wire a standard outlet in here, and try that drill trick again. Might be my first step. So stay tuned. So the power meter came on, so that means there's at least some sort of power coming to this panel. I don't know if that's just 12 volts off the stator that's built into the engine, or if that's somehow wired into the power head. I'm not too familiar with these generators, honestly. The screws have some wear on them, like paint's been chipped off, so maybe the previous owner did try to fix this a little bit. And it looks nice and clean, but you never know what the previous owner may or may not have tried. Okay, so wired a little tight here. I don't want to break anything. Again, I'm going to try and disconnect one of these outlets here and wire them into a standard outlet and see if I can power it up that way before I take the power head off. So essentially I have this, I don't know if you can even see there. No, you can't. Let me see. Where's the camera? So blue line is going to the black side, and the white wire here is going to the side. So again, I'll just get an outlet and wire it up properly. Sorry if that angle didn't work out for you. Make sure I put the other one back in here. I don't want to forget which wires went where, so blue one there. I'm going to have to pull this outlet out. Let's get to the other terminal over there. And again, these screw heads for the Phillips head side have paint worn off, so it looks like somebody has been here before. Unfortunately, I was hoping it was just something simple and nobody had tried to fix this, but who knows, somebody may have tried the drill trick before and it didn't work, and therefore they gave up. Guess that's the white. One second, let me get a standard outlet and I'll get back. Okay, so we're going to take this outlet and wire it up. This little guy here. So this blue line went to the white screw side, so we'll put this in here. Okay, we're just trying to bypass the GFI aspect, which may not be allowing power to flow backwards because it's tripped. There's no power. So I could be very wrong here. I'm not an electrician, so do this at your own risk. If this isn't it, then we're going to be digging in deeper than I want to go. But let's see how this thing goes. Whenever you grab something on the side of the road, it's a gamble. maybe a waste of your time, may end up costing you more time than it's worth, but at the same time it could be somebody who had no idea what they were doing, and you can get a fantastic deal, make a few $100. So that's what we're hoping for this one. Put this ground on here. Obviously we want to make sure we're all pretty good to go. Okay. So now let's see if we can check resistance in this plug back on the GFI. Okay. 1.9 ohms. Not 0.3, 0.4 as I kind of expected, but before we were getting nothing with the GFI. So maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to re-energize this magnet. Take this other wire off here so we're not hanging this GFI off here. Okay, so that blue went to there, remember that. Stick this back in the panel and we'll plug this drill back in now. Have this thing situated. Okay, let's back up again. I think it's far enough back to actually see what I'm doing. About right. Get my glove back on. Fire this thing back up. We'll try spinning the drill with the trigger pulled and the drill setting forward in the reverse direction. And then it happens. Gamble, take two. That's interesting. It was moving, but it wasn't moving super fast. Didn't seem like full speed again. I couldn't hear it because of the generator running. I'm going to pull the other GFI off here and wire two 20 amp non-GFI outlets into this thing and see what happens. That was interesting. Again, if you're looking for perfect diagnosis and troubleshooting on this generator, you came to the wrong place. If you're looking for jack of all trades, master of none, looking to see if we can get this generator moving some power, then came to the right place. Okay, it's wired up. Now let's check resistance on the other GFI. The one is wired up. That one's showing 0 on the GFI. Showing 1, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7. Okay. And showing same on the other one. Okay. What I'm going to try and do, again, this one was getting, the drill's working with this one, but was not working with this one. So, I'm going to try the same thing I did before. Before I even start it, pull the trigger. Try this, maybe that'll bring it to life. So, GFI's out, non-GFI's in. Before I start up, I want to get these kind of back in place so we don't short out any wires by touching them. Again, not recommended for you guys, but I'm pretty confident nothing's touching metal, nothing's are between each other. So we're gonna back up the camera, Start up, see if we have 110 on this side. Remember, we had no power before when I plugged into this GFI. Oh, got to turn the key on here. That's the problem. Tested voltage here, it's about 47, 48 volts coming out of each of these. I wonder if we just re-energized half of the stator. Or with the 220, if we have to somehow get a plug that goes in here, that will re-energize the other side. Huh. Interesting. Better than we were before, because GFIs probably weren't resetting because they weren't getting full voltage. So for now, we'll mount these outlets in here and maybe pull the other side off, see what we're getting out of the actual power head over there. Oh, this is pushing my electrical ability right here, so stay tuned. Okay, so down here we have our, I don't know what I want to call it, the stator. So we're going to check, this is the neutral, we're going to check and see if we have 110 going to each of these blacks right here. And if that's the case, then everything's good here. We got a problem up top. I know these right here, the AGVs, I believe, automatic, something, variable control, these go bad sometimes. Miz is our next thing right here, but for now we're going to check, or fire it up, we're going to check across, see if we have 110 going to each of these sides. So I'm not sure you'll be able to see the meter from there, but I'll try and show you. I'm not sure if you could have seen the voltmeter, but it was reading 47 on each side. So something's going on back here, and we're going to pull it apart a little further before I give up and throw in the towel. So we're going to pull off this AVG or AGV, I forget honestly the name of it. I'm not even sure how to test this thing either, but I hear there's an adjustment in the back, or maybe you can turn the voltage up, so maybe something just got old and wore out. It's odd that I have 47, 48 volts going to each leg instead of 110, obviously. Huh. This one is not adjustable whatsoever. I don't see any place to adjust that. We have to watch a video or so on how to test this thing, because I don't know what to do next. I know this is a common failure point as well. Nothing looks obviously wrong. Oh, this is getting in deeper than I wanted to go with this stinking generator. These are like 60 bucks, so I don't want to buy one of these if I don't know it's the problem. So I wonder if there's a way to check this. Alright, let me watch a video or so figure out what to do with testing that, and then I'll get back to you. And pulled this off and didn't see anything wrong. With the brushes removed, we can take a look at the brush surface, see how they're looking, and then we can also check the resistance between the slip rings, I guess they're called. Let's see how we're looking there. The brush is definitely making contact there with the slip ring, but that missing, okay, this one doesn't have a second screw, it's got a little nub there, so maybe they weren't inside here. But they said the slip ring to slip ring connection back here should be between 45 and 75 ohms. We're getting oh yeah, I just saw. I'm not touching any other metal. .7. That seems within range. Jump around a little bit, but that means the rotor may be okay. The brushes are definitely in contact with the slip rings. Soldering for these wires look okay from the rotor. I just need to clean the brushes or clean the slip rings. Really hard for you to see, but inside here they're not shiny. They're kind of dull brushes themselves. Let me see if I can get those in the video. Definitely curved. Spring feels good. So right now, check continuity, make sure these springs are, make sure this contact surface is fully in touch with this connector back here. Okay, that one side's good. I'm not sure I'm showing the camera, but just making sure that these connectors here through the brushes to these wires are good. So I just checked that. Good continuity, very low resistance. Switch over to the other connector. I think it's putting out voltage, just not the right voltage. Could be this unit right here. Not sure if I can test the voltage right off this brush when it's running. Maybe I'll try that. It should be safe. Showing a plus and a minus right here. Plus is red. So we're just trying to scuff up the slip rings a little bit, clean them off, and put this back in place. And check the voltage coming off here. See what that's giving us. I'm not sure what the number should be, but let's see. We'll try that next. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but the brush ends were kind of glazed over. So I took a little piece of fine sandpaper and just kind of hit the ends, and that removed the gloss finish. I'm not sure if that's going to be it or not, but I figured I'd show this right now in case it was. I could brag and take credit for that. So right now I'm also trying to clean up the slip rings with the same sandpaper, just trying to make that surface a little rougher in case that was glossed over and kind of increasing resistance. So what I'm doing is I'm cleaning a little bit, pulling the motor a little bit, and getting to a spot where I can reach. And again, you're not going to be able to see this, but trying to remove that gloss finish off of the slip rings and give it more of a cross hatch or scratched up finish, which should help with good contact and continuity, and in case that's the problem. Again, I could be wasting my time here, but this is free. So we're trying it. Okay, so I just cleaned up those slip rings as well as the contact points on the brushes. Now we're going to install the brushes back on here and test it again, see if we get correct voltage. Again, you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing here, but I'm putting the brush back on. I can barely see what I'm doing here. Put the brush on, make sure the brushes are in contact and it's not binding up and you're not tightening this down this little plastic piece too much without everything being aligned there. So brushes are contacting, good resistance there. So essentially we should be able to touch these two terminals here with resistance and get the same reading we got before, which is about 50, 59. I'm not sure you can see that, but now we're getting good reading down there, same readings we had when we got the slip rings cleaned off. Turn the generator back on, and then we're going to test if we have 110 coming out. You see those brushes being brushed, they're cleaned up, the haze off there, the gloss off there. We did it or not. So we will set our voltmeter to AC volts. This one has a 600 volt level there, and I will turn this back on. This is out of the way, it's not going to be a problem hanging here. And we'll check the black to white, see if we have 110 instead of 47 like we had before. That wasn't the problem. So the next step, I believe, check the red and the white wire there, the red and black wire coming off the brushes there. It should be 15 volts when running. So that's our next test right here. Fire it up and we'll check those. I think just for safety's sake we'll plug that back in for now. For that test, we had to set the voltmeter to DC, and I was getting 9-ish volts. I don't think that's good. Okay, so the next step is, since we have less than 15 volts coming across those lines off the brushes, that's DC. We'll disconnect this AVR again, and we're going to put the voltmeter to AC. Should be between 4 and 8 volts on the two blue lines here. So we'll fire this thing back up again. We'll check that. Running the two blue lines, we actually have between 4 and 8, which means the AVR should be replaced. So good news there, because it's not the stator. I'll get a new AVR. And it's a bit of money, but hopefully that's the problem. I wish I had a spare here to try and plug in here and replace it with, but since I don't, I'll have to purchase a new AVR and plug it in here and see if it works. So if you check the two blue lines coming off the generator, coming off the alternator here, that was between 4 and 8 volts. So therefore it's saying that if we have less than 15 volts coming off the red and blue brushes here when it's plugged in, that's the case, yes. Going on to these and disconnect, check the blue lines here. If that's between 4 and 8, then it's the AVR that's bad. Anyway, I'll get a new AVR ordered up, automatic voltage regulator, and then we'll go from there. So unfortunately, reflashing didn't work with the drill nor the 12-volt battery, but it turns out It's most likely the AVR. So I'll get into one of these on order and see if that works. Nothing obviously wrong with this AVR, but again, it's probably something burned or cooked inside here. And unfortunately, this AVR is non-adjustable, so we can't adjust the voltage coming out of this thing. All right, well that's it for this particular unit until I get the AVR in. So that'll come up next. Okay, the new automatic voltage regulator came in, AVR. So ordered it through Amazon. It was like 18 bucks plus tax. Got right here. So colors don't match exactly, but the plug plugs in. See, red goes to positive here on the brush, white goes to negative, and we're getting 220 volts. So I'm getting about 110 from neutral to hot there, with my voltmeter set to AC, which is obviously the voltage sign with a little squiggly line after it. And a digital readout over here, you'll see when I turn it on, it reads 220. These 110 outlets still aren't working, so I'm sure these outlets are just shot, these GFIs, I'll replace those. But I think we're 90% of the way there. Turn this on. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but it read 220, so we're good there. Just a little bit of adjusting on the AVR. There's a screw in the back side, so I ran that screw counterclockwise, so I turned and have to get to 220. But besides that, I'll replace these two outlets. It seems like they're not working. This little, buffer, 2x buffer, will not turn on. So I checked all the breakers. They're not tripped at all. So pretty sure it's just these GFIs. They won't reset. When I hit this reset button, they don't stay in. I'm pretty sure they're shot. So I'll swap those outlets out and get this thing running again. Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure these GFIs are shot. I thought since we weren't getting power, they weren't getting enough power to actually reset. But now that I'm confident we're getting 220 up here, there's definitely an issue with these GFIs. This meter right here, like I showed you before, is reading 220, which is fine. Okay, well, I got this one sorted out, I believe. So, replaced the two GFCIs. Both of those were bad. So, now this will work when running. The little LED light up here turns on to let you know it's good. And I plugged in some power tools there. It's got 110 or 115 across the positive and neutral there. And I don't have a 220 to check it out with, but starts and runs good. I think we're good. Alright, the two generators are fixed and both are listed for sale currently. Get them out of my garage. You can tell which one maybe made a little more high quality. Probably the Yamaha over the Sportsman, but regardless, this little green guy is probably all anybody needs for a homeowner unit. And this Yamaha is probably meant for someone a little more serious or with a higher power draw. All right, that's it. 2 generators fixed and on their way, hopefully, to a new home soon. Take care.